Are you new to programming in JavaScript? Then this tutorial is for you. Hi everyone, my name is Yazan and I'm instructor at Integrify Academy. We upload new content on YouTube every Thursday. Today we're continuing our JavaScript series with conditions. So if you like the video, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe buttons, and let's go. All right. So we're going to talk about conditions now. And there are several things that we're going to talk about. So starting with the basic if statement, if else statements, and then if else if statement, switch, turner operator, and logical operator. So let's crack each one of it. The basic syntax of the condition is basically let's assume you have a variable here. So let's say x is 5, right? And then you say, so the basic syntax is we write if, and then the parentheses. In between the parentheses, you would have the condition. So what is the condition that you're looking for? So I'm saying that if x is less than or greater than 2, then you want to execute some code. So how does this work is you will have, as I said, the if keyword, then the parentheses followed with inside the parentheses what is the condition that you are looking for, and then followed with the curly brackets. And if that condition is turned to true, then what's going to happen is we are going to execute whatever code that exists in this code block. So in this case, we say yes, it is greater than 2. So what I'm going to do right now is run the file. No, run. Cool. So you can see now we have yes, it's greater than 2. For example, if we put this x is 1, let me put this response, and if I run it, see, nothing happens because the x is now 1 and it's not greater than 2. So this statement will it's going to be false. And if it's false, this code never runs. So how can we handle the scenario where if it's false, then go ahead, run something else? Exactly. So in this case, we're going to talk about the else. So if you write an else statement here, then let's say no, it's not greater than 2. And let's just cool. So in this case, the first one, let me just remove this thing. So the first one here is x is 1. So if x is greater than 2, then go ahead, log greater than 2. Else, so if the condition is false, then run the else block. Run it, and you can see now it's executing. The else statement is executing. No, it's not greater than 2. Yeah, so you can do all sort of stuff here. Depends on what is the kind of the conditional, what is the logic that you want your code to be read from top to bottom. We have something else. What if you want to have another if statement before it goes to the else block? So in this case, let me also copy this same code and then paste it here. And in this case here, what you could do here, you could say else if, and then you could have the condition that you want to have. So else if, we could say if, I don't know, this is going to sound like a stupid example, but doesn't matter. So if x is equal to 2, for example, then what you're going to say, I'm going to say, yeah, it's going to say x is equal to 2. So now in this case, what's going to be the logic? Let's have this here as 2. So is 2 greater than 2? No, it's not. It's not. So this block will not be executed. Then we're going to go to another if statement, and we say here, hey, if 2 is equal to, or x is equal to, in this case 2 is equal to, that's true, then this code block will execute. Otherwise, if you have like one here, then those two statements will be ignored, and then the else will run. This statement will run. So let's see what's going to run here. Yeah, x is equal to 2. You could read here. So what if we have here 1? Then and we run it again. So you see here, no, it's not greater than 2. Greater or equal. Cool. So you see now, because it didn't fulfill any of these two statements, then the third one will run the else. And if there's no else, nothing will run. Like if you run here, nothing. Both of those statements are ignored. Cool. So we jump into the next one, which is a switch. So for the switch statement is used when you want to execute different kind of blocks of code depending on the value of the variable. So it's also exactly the same thing that how if else statement works, but just different syntax. So not a big deal. So how does this work? Is we could just go ahead and say. Let's have a const here, which say what day. So and then let's say it's Monday. And then the switch case statement is I can generate that quickly. So the switch here would be here you can have what is the key. So what is the value that you want to have cases on it. So in this case we're talking about day. So the key here is day. This is the variable. And then we're going to say here, hey, if the day is equal Monday, then I'm going to console log things. So console log, it is Monday. All right, and then I could just basically return that right away. And then here, and basically you can handle different cases. So I will just basically handle the other two. So we don't need to just have this. Yeah, I'll just have it short. Got it. And this is Tuesday, and that's it Wednesday. So if day is Monday, for example, then when this switch case run is going to go case by case. So the day here will be replaced with whatever value we provide. So here it's 1, and then if it matches either of these cases, then the statement that belongs to the case will invoke. And if for some reason the value of day didn't match the case 1, 2, nor 3, then what's going to happen is it's going to fall back to the case we have in the default. So for the default here, I could say return, also for example, log. Did not match any day. So let's see how this is going to run. I will clear this up, run again, and boom, you see it's Monday. So if I, for example, have here Friday and then run it again, guess what? See, did not match any day. So it means that this day, the day variable, for example, Friday, goes here, and then it checks each case. Okay, is this the same? Does day, is it equal to this value? No, it's not, because this is Friday and this is Monday. The same with Tuesday, the same with Wednesday. And then it doesn't matter how many case statements you have. Eventually, if it didn't match any of these cases, it will fall back to the default one. Like if I would now just have a Friday here, and then it's Friday, and then run it one more time, you see that it recognized the Friday, and it's printing now the Friday. Very cool, right? There are a lot of cool things that you could do with the switch statement. So your imagination is the limit there. So you can do pretty much anything you like. So next up is the ternary operator, and this is more like kind of like an ES6, where you could basically have nicer, shorter version of if-else statements. So for example, do you remember this statement here where we have if equal 1, then log x is equal 1, and then let me just basically have the variable x as 1. So now if I run it again, you can see that it equals 1. So this is kind of if-else statement, and if this is else, then I'm going to console log x or not x, I don't know, is not equal one, doesn't equal one, doesn't matter. So here, if I put this x2, then the else block would run, right? You remember that, we just talked about it. So in the ternary operator, we could kind of make this a lot shorter, nicer, and by doing the following syntax. So the following syntax is would be something like that. You have here some condition, and then followed with just here I have that comment, followed with what is like the column, or sorry, the question mark, kind of asking if this condition is true, then this statement will run if true, and then the else in this case would be represented by the column, and if that's false, then the statement state if true, if false. Cool. So that's basically kind of the syntax. So let's apply that. So in this case, the condition is equal to 1. So we say x is equal to 1, and then followed with the question mark, and then we have two statements. If this condition is true, then the first statement will run. In this case, I'm going to console log yes, it is equal, or else here in the ternary operator is represented via the column here. So else we're going to say log no, it is not, and we save. Let me remove this one so we don't get confused. And if I run again, you see no, it's not. Why? Because x is now equal to 2, and in this condition is false. So the first statement will not run, but rather the second would run. If this is back to 1, then the first statement will basically run, because that's the true value. Yeah, so pretty neat, right? Cool. So let's wrap it up with logical operator. We have different logical operators. We have the and we have the kind of or, and we have the kind of the not logical operator. Yeah, so let's see how this would look like. So we could just go back to the x and y here, or x, I don't know, x5 and y is 10. All right, so let's see how we can integrate these logical operators into these conditions. So we could say we already did something like that, like at the beginning. See, when we said that if x is equal to 1 or greater than 1, whatever. So that's basically it. So here, what if we want to combine two things together, make sure that two conditions are met, and then we need to want to do something. So in this case, we're going to use the and here we could say that if x is less than 10, for example, and y is greater than 5, then what we're going to run, we could say like log both statements are true, something like that. But let's see here, is it true? No. If x is less than 10, so if x is less than 10, that's correct, and y is greater than 5, that's correct. So if this is true and this is true, then this statement will run. Let's see. Oh, both statements are true. This is the only time when this statement runs. It must fulfill those two conditions. Those two conditions must be true in order to run that. So let's check the or. The or, in the other hand, is kind of it's different, because what's going to look like is, let's just here that. Here we're going to say if, for example, x is less than, I don't know, 10, or y is less than 5. Yeah, and then if this is true or this is true, then we're going to run at least one condition is true. Yes. So if this turns to true right away, then it will ignore the next statement, and it will not kind of compare it. It will just jump right away to the kind of this condition, like the block where the code is executed. So here what we're saying, that if x is less than 10, which is 5, which is true, or y is greater than 5, or sorry, less than 5, then, and here it's 10, so this statement is false and this is true. But with or, we only care if either of it is true. So let's see here, at least one condition is true. Cool. And one thing also with the not operator, we can do something like this. So we could say that is admin, and for some reason this is false. And what we could say here is say if is admin, all right, then I don't know, like console log hello admin, right? And here in this case, what we're going to do is, because this is false, this will not run. Let me just have here hello user, and if I run this here, you can see, you know what, let me just remove these. So we just get a clean log. Hello user, because admin is false, so this is false, this will not be executed, the else statement will be executed instead. There's the not operator, so it's the opposite one. So if we say not here, then what's going to do is it's going to kind of take the kind of the opposite value of it. So if it's false, it will be true, and if it's true, it will be false. So in kind of the English way, if you wanted to know how to say that in English, so it would be something like this. If not admin, right? So if not admin, what is it? It's user, right? So it's user. We say hello user, else we say hello admin. So now if we run it, you see now we say hello user, because if not admin, right? So in this case, yeah, it's not admin, it's false. So it's user. So if you think of it how JavaScript will read this, this is admin will be false, and the opposite of false is what? Is true. That's why this condition runs first. Easy peasy, right? Cool. So yeah, this is kind of the let me just say here, if not admin, let's leave it there. So yeah, that's basically it. Like very basic, the conditions, and this is kind of you would use it a lot in JavaScript, a lot. So you could control the data flow and so on and so forth. But yeah, that's it for today. I'll see you definitely in the next one. Bye.